Hello, 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 and welcome in PowerPass, your ticket to greatness. Today, together with Hakiel, we'll be speaking about deserving, about worthiness, and about emotional needs. How to understand that we are worthy, how to understand that we are deserving, how to understand our own emotional needs, and how can we fully embrace the humans that we are and allow ourselves to live fully here on this planet. So, welcome and let's begin.
Hello, everyone. So today the subject is really interesting because many times the people they stop to do the things exactly because they think that they don't deserve the result that they want to get or even that they dream about. And it's like the self-sabotage even can happen because it's like I think deeply, or better, deeply in the unconscious, it's a kind of belief that the person doesn't believe exactly that she can achieve it or she can deserve that result or even that she's worthy of that result.
Yes, that's true. That's one of the biggest blockages that people, my clients, have when reaching for their goals. They don't believe that they are worthy and they don't believe that they are deserving. And it's blocking them even from taking any kind of action in reaching their goals, in achieving their dreams.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting what you are saying because even when we are going deep, we can understand that this kind of self beliefs of unworthiness, it's like they are linked to other things and other thoughts and other emotions. So then it's like a big net of concepts, of feelings that then it's difficult to untangle this information. But anyway, I think it's really important here today, and I would like to bring the positions of the moon. That it's something that the astrology can identify very well, and I think these positions of the moon really help us to understand the emotional needs because what I believe is the the emotional needs of the person when she knows exactly what emotional needs she has, it will help her exactly to go ahead and to define boundaries and to give steps because she really starts to understand what are the emotional needs that she has. And sometimes I think because our society is not well educated to to identify every emotion. So it's like people are talking about, let's say, big clusters. Okay.
Mix of emotions.
Yes, yes. And then it's like the small things, they get lost. And are these small things that exactly can help to understand what are the emotional needs of the person.
Yes.
And I would like to give the example, for example, about the positions of the moon, that, for example, the moon can be, of course, in a earth sign, so can be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or moon in water.
Okay, let me stop you for a second over here. I just wanted to make something really clear. So in order to work with our self-confidence, with our worth, with the idea that we are deserving, the basic step is to discover your own emotional needs and allowing yourself to have these needs fulfilled. Saying, I am worthy, I love and I respect myself enough to have my needs fulfilled. And just by doing it, we are creating this new level of consciousness in which we know that we are deserving, we know that we are worthy. And Now Hakel will tell you about the star signs and how they are corresponding with our own emotional needs. And you can see it by yourself and check it if it's right, or do you have some kind of
Yeah.
deviations of your emotional needs.
And
So
if
we
they, yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
sorry. So we've got four types of star signs. They are
Mm-hmm.
associated with different elementals. So
Mm-hmm.
earth, water,
Fire, yeah.
air, and
What?
fire. Yes. Okay. So now
Yes.
the stage is yours.
Okay. So we have moons that can be in the element of Earth, that is Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, can be in water, that is Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, and also in fire, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. And what is missing here? Air, yeah,
Air.
Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. So, what this means exactly in our life. So, for example, if a person has a moon in Aquarius, okay, that is an air element, this person wants to have freedom. Okay, so the moons in air, they want at least some kind of space to think. So if they meet someone with the moon that is more practical, like a moon in the earth element, like
In the earth.
Virgo,
Yeah.
Capricorn, or Taurus, it's possible that they clash, okay? Because a moon in an earth element demands to have the emotional needs for them to be fulfilled. It's according what the person brings to them. So it's like someone always needs to add something to their life.
Yes.
Can be very simple things. Can be, for example, if you have a moon, let's say in Taurus or in Virgo, it's very easy for you, for example, to feel pleased if you have a friend that tells you, you know what, I'm going to take you for a dinner. Or at least that friend is available, for example, to go with you to the supermarket, to make you a favor. So a moon in a earth element needs to have a practical thing in their life brought by the other.
By someone
Okay.
else. Yes.
Moons that belong to the air element, they will demand freedom. So it's a lot connected with opportunity to choose. Okay, imagine. So again, you have a moon in Earth. Okay, and let's imagine I have a moon in air. Every time that, for example, let's say that I can cope with some of your demands, like, oh, yeah, can you go shopping with me? Or I would like that you make me this favor. I can cope with a few without issues, okay? But imagine that suddenly it clashes with my routine.
Yes.
This is a problem, okay? Because then my emotional need is not being respected. And then you feel that your emotional need is not respected.
Yes.
And then we can get upset with each other.
Yes. Before we go further, I wanted to explain something because we are speaking about moon in different signs. So it's not really our zodiac sign that is resonating with us, but the moon of the time that we are born.
Yes.
So that's important for you
Yes.
my listener, our listeners, to check by yourself.
If they have questions, they can email us, they can
Yes.
send any kind of message, because of course we will reply to them and we can guide at least for them to explore their astral map and even even they understand better their moon position, because of course
And
astrology is a
yeah,
world, but at least in this way they can have a notion about what to search and what to identify in themselves.
and the emotional needs. Yes.
Yes, because there are small things. Because look, one thing, usually people talk about emotional needs about what? They talk, I need a person that is more attached, or I need a person that is more independent.
Mhm.
This is very ambiguous,
Yes.
okay? And for example, people with different moons in different elements, they can have the same speech, but in the reality, they can feel very disappointed with very different things.
Yes.
Okay, so let me also mention the moons in fire. So moons in fire, they like to start new things. They like adventure. So it's very important for them that people bring to them something new that they can start, that they can engage, that they can try for the first time, that they can explore. So if, for example, they are with someone with emotional needs that prefers practical things, the things can, of course, go along. Yeah, because depends of the other demands of the other that brings things that demands things more practical. However, if then the person that wants practicality from the element earth wants always to go to shopping, this person from fire element can feel a bit,
Repetition. It's the same, the same, the same, the same.
yeah,
Fire element needs something new constantly.
yeah. It's good for them to start. It's like they have to start. So it's really good that they understand that when they are around people, when people don't meet their expectations of bringing them conditions to start something new, they can feel disappointed and annoyed. Okay. So now moons in water. Moons in water are quite curious because, for example, usually one thing that is very present is the fear. Okay, and this means what? That moons in water, they meet people that they are very consistent.
Mhm.
Okay, because in this way they know what to expect. So they know what is coming. And for them, it's easier. So people with the moon in Scorpio, in Cancer, in Pisces, every time that they face something that is out of their expectation, they can feel disappointed. Okay. And this is kind of introduction for the people start to understand when they feel disappointed with someone. Okay, so this is just one aspect.
Yes.
Then another thing that is quite important, in my opinion. So you can become aware about what affects your life and your emotional needs, but then it's quite important that also with this knowledge, you start to understand how to define your boundaries. Because with this perception, you start to understand better the others and better yourself. But then, even if you understand better the others and better yourself, there are things that you can't cope. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
And the things that you can't cope, many times, the most part of the times, and of course, are connected with your emotional needs. So then it's about to understand exactly where it clashes and what can be, and let's say, allowed.
It's assertiveness. Yes, it's
Yes.
feeling when you receive some kind of question or a favor, is tuning into your own self, into your own body, and asking yourself, do I feel comfortable doing this or going shopping or spending time with this person?
Mm.
And starting respecting your own energy, your own time, your own feelings, and
Mhm.
becoming assertive. It's like, sorry, not now, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. It will allow you to open up space for yourself, to start respecting yourself, to start fulfilling your emotional needs, to start creating this consciousness of, okay, I deserve, I am
Mhm.
worthy, and I respect myself. So
Um,
everything serves us to discover our own selves, to
mhm.
discover
Yeah.
how worthy we are, how deserving we are, and how much we should love and respect ourselves.
Mhm.
And like you said before, it is very important for us to look into our own internal feelings. How are we feeling agreeing for something? How are we feeling being in this kind of company or another kind of company?
Mhm.
Our internal feelings instantly send us a signal of what is good for us or bad for us.
Mm.
And very often we feel
Sorry.
comfortable or we know we shouldn't do something for someone, yet we say, oh, okay, it's okay, this time I will do it, next time I will be assertive and say no. And by noticing these small events in our lives, we will start becoming more respectful towards ourselves,
Mhm.
respecting our own needs, our own feelings.
Mm. You know, one thing that I just would like to add as well, it's the concept of introvert and extrovert from Carl Jung.
Hmm.
Because many times we have the concept of introversion as someone like they like to be on their own.
Hmm.
They like to be alone. They don't like to socialize. And for the extroversion and for the extroverts, we have an association that are people that they are talkative, communicative,
Yes.
that they like to engage with the others and all this stuff. And it has these concepts very well defined in a way that I think is quite important to mention here because it defines the introversion as it's like a way of perceive the world. Okay, so for example, a person that is more introvert than extrovert, it's like a person that perceives the situations with their body or
Hmm.
with their inner world.
Hmm.
So, for example, people are going to a concert, okay, or to an exhibition, and if you ask them, to an introvert, how was it? The introvert will tell you something like, yes, it was a good atmosphere. It was light. I felt very well there. Okay, so they will describe the situation as they felt.
Yes.
Okay, and the extrovert will tell you something like that. Yes, there was a lot of people. People had were well dressed. There were a lot of women in there, um, children as well. So it's like they perceive the world as exactly how it is.
Hmm.
Okay, and this means what? That, for example, people that have more introversion, and I believe that who hears this, they know exactly um, if they are introvert or extrovert. Okay, because they know how they describe the situations. When people ask to them, how was some event where they were, they know what
Yeah.
kind of answer they give. And it's not just about that, because, for example, the introverts are not good at all to describe the environment.
The environment.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like um, they can drive in a city uh, for years,
they are taking always the same roads. And if you ask them if there is a shop in the left side after the junction, they don't know. Okay, the ones that they are more introverted, of course.
Hmm.
In opposition, the extrovert knows very well where are the things, and this can be a kind of clue to exactly understand when your boundaries are being um, violated, and in the moment that this happens, you start to think that you are not worthy, or you open the gate for that.
Hmm.
So, for example, people that are more introverts, they really have to focus in their inner experience. So when they agree to make a favor, how is that? Is it heavy or it's light? So this is the question for them. For the ones that are more extroverted, it's very important that they understand this. How the person asked me the favor. How did she move? How did she look or he looked at me? Because the extroverts will be very good in picking up the signs.
Hmm.
Okay? The introvert, it's about,
How do I feel?
you know,
How? Yeah.
yeah. So for the ones that want to have a notion when the favors can start to be messy for them and open uh, a road that doesn't have an end between their emotional needs and then, of course, the feelings of being worthy, they just have to understand exactly how do they feel, how do they perceive the situation. Yeah.
Okay. So, as introverts, for example, I find myself that I'm introvert. That's why I'm so good at hypnosis, because I describe stuff that I am feeling myself. And extroverts are the people who experience the world from the outside. What is happening outside? Introverts are experiencing the world through their own internal processes. What is happening inside of us? How it makes us feel. Okay, have you noticed while working with people that one of these types of people have more self-confidence and more self-worth and knowing that deserves than the other, or you would say that it's exactly the same, and it depends on some
Okay.
different reasons.
So, because introverts and extroverts, of course, both of them, they can mess up because if they
Yes,
don't listen and they don't have an understanding about how the things can undermine them, both of them, they face the same troubles. Okay. Um, what is quite curious is, for example, because I think the extroverts, they are really good to pick up the signals. And these, it's like when you tell them about this aspect, they start to feel more confident
hmm,
about themselves. When it's about an introvert, of course, can be harder because people that are more introvert, they can face more challenges to believe in their inner experience. Of course, it
hmm.
depends where they are.
Of course, yeah, it always depends.
Yes, if an introvert is in an environment and has people around that trust in their intuition and trust about how they feel that this is kind of guidance and
Hmm.
they are used to. But it's quite easy if they are out of this supportive bubble that they can feel that they are lost. and especially because the introverts, they are more reflexive. They reflect much more, okay?
Hmm.
Because the extroverts, it's like, let me gather information, okay? More and more and more.
Go and
And
see
what
what
should be
happens.
around. Huh?
Go and see what happens.
Yes, yes. And the introvert many times can feel lost
Hmm.
because the extrovert many times can find in this way of perceiving the world a form of to escape to the concern.
Hmm.
Because if this doesn't serve him, goes to the next one, okay, and then to the next one. But of course, they gather a lot of information in that experience, and of course, the introverts they get the information as well. But the thing is that many times they are not used to process that information and how to deal with that information. So I believe that yes, the introverts can struggle more
Hmm. All
if
right.
they are even surrounded with people more rational or more logical.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so we are because we are getting up to the end of our time for today's episode.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice that you would like to give introverts and extroverts and all the zodiacal signs? How can we become more loving towards ourselves, more worthy, and more deserving of everything that is here for us?
hmm So as I said before, for people that are introverts, they really have to to see their inner experience when they are asked about a favor. How do they feel? Is it heavy? Is it light? Okay, some people they feel a weight, for example, when something is wrong. Uh, some people they feel that they are squeezed inside. So
Hmm.
the, it can be in different ways. Okay, even for example, some people they pick up the information with their gut. Okay, so it's like they have to really, these ones maybe they have a big challenge because it's like, okay, now I have to recognize all this information that my body is telling me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the extroverts, they are very good to picking up the visual. What is visual? What is around them? Because they will understand the movements of the person, um, how she asked the question, how she introduced the subject for then ask the favor. They will have all these steps in their minds. And this is something that they will understand well when there is a pattern for a red flag.
Mhm.
And if they identify this, of course, their boundaries are respected, and of course, they feel worthy and deserving.
Yes. So, in other words, respect your own boundaries. Be
Yes,
assertive, and that are the first steps to growing into worthiness and the knowledge that you are deserving.
yeah. If you don't respect your boundaries, you don't express yourself. That's it. And it's not just the expressing about communication; it's expressing your nature, who you are, um, and without judgments, because you came in certain time, in certain way, in certain family, in all these kind of structure, exactly to help you to express yourself in the most honest way. And of course, some people will not like it, some people will like it, and that's it.
That's it.
Again, because because the ones that will like it, it's because you meet their emotional needs,
Yes,
and the ones
exactly.
that will not like, it's because you are not meeting their emotional needs, and that's it.
And that's it. So don't be afraid that you will hurt someone. Don't be afraid that somebody will like you or don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Start respecting your own boundaries. Start liking yourself first. And you will see that the whole quality of your life and the quality of your experiences will start changing for way, way more positive.
Mhm.
And with this positive accent, I would like to say goodbye and thank you for today. And we'll see you next Monday in our next episode of PowerPass, your ticket to greatness.
See you next Monday.
Bless. See you.
Bye bye.